Hey, Dan.
Happy
Em?
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you. It's been my best Valentine's Day ever today.
Really?
Yeah, ever.
Why do you say that?
Oh, it was great. I picked up my girlfriend from the airport, went to Starbucks, had a little coffee. Her mom sent me a gift, which is kind of weird. I think there's something going on there. So I got two Valentine's Day gifts. So that's why I said it's my best ever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I
Yeah,
got,
thanks.
yeah. What did you get?
Hold on, I'm trying to.
I
This is
I do not know what I'd do without you. Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
that's very sweet.
my husband is a donutaholic. Yes, I haven't given it to him yet.
What'd you get your wife, David?
Nothing yet. She got me chocolates and a card. I feel bad. I will
You
show
feel
you.
you
And
feel
I get
bad, but you
chocolate.
didn't do anything yet.
What's that?
What are you gonna what are you gonna I'm gonna send Robin some flowers right
I'm
now.
gonna get her flowers. I'm gonna get her the flowers. Hold on a second.
See, he's embarrassed. He doesn't take care of his relationship and he wonders why he sleeps on the couch.
TMI. Well, here's the deal. I had a nice chat with my husband like 2 weeks ago. I was like, need more. Sorry. Otherwise,
Yep.
I got a food reference also. So my card says, "I like the way you roll," but I'm the recipient, not the
oh, I
guy.
Oh,
like
that's
the
nice.
sushi. I like the
And
sushi.
she knows I love Choco, so I got
Oh,
the
look
Choco.
at you. Look at you. Look
Yeah.
at you.
Okay.
All
So
right, we got a half an hour to do the rehearsal. I
yeah.
know Dan is a pro.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so
So
let's
what's our goal here? Our goal is prepping for a presentation. Is that what we're doing?
yeah, we're gonna do our first presentation in 26 minutes to Ian.
Perfect.
And let's go through the deck, figure out who's gonna talk to what slide, and
Yep.
coming up with like a game plan. So let me hold on a second. Let me grab the doc. They've changed the way they do these screens. What is this? This doesn't look right to me.
You want me to share? I can share if you
No,
want.
I got it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let me share my screen.
So, Dan, I don't know if you spoke to David since I spoke to David, but we went down and we really pared it down.
Excellent. I
So
have
be
not
prepared
spoken
to
to him.
see Rocky. That's all I'm going to say.
See Rocky. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
I know
You'll
you don't
see.
get it, but you will get it when you see it.
Okay,
Oh,
hold on a
I
second.
got you.
It's not in my
I
notes.
got you.
Okay, so do you want to take a first pass and just like put like
Really? You want me to start this? Like, okay, I can
look
start.
at each of the slides and let's figure out who's going to talk about which
Okay,
slide.
why don't we'll take you through the slides and then, honestly, they should be, I can't because I can't drive the slides.
Well, you
Right.
Your
have access to
screen.
the slide. You can access. You can edit it. You can edit the slide.
Well,
No, I can't move the slides because you're controlling the screen.
Oh, but you have access to the document, right?
I do, but
Okay,
is
so I'll
that
make a
what
change.
you can see? Okay, so I'll do
Okay,
the document.
so okay, so maybe I'll
I'll do
just
the document. I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Hold on.
okay. So why don't I talk about this first slide? Can I put like DG here?
why don't we, David, why don't we go through the document,
Yeah,
see
go
what's
ahead.
on the document, and then we
Okay,
can identify roles,
okay, that's fine.
right?
Yeah, I think you should
Okay,
also feel comfortable with how the sequence of things,
do you
Dan.
want me to just like go through this really quickly, or how do you want to do? Or do you want to lead this thing?
I can
Do I
lead it.
want
I mean, well, I'll do very high level with you, Dan. So
go?
basically,
All right, let's go.
all right. So Thriven is, a patient
Yep.
support, blah, blah, blah. So thank you. High quality patient education and support at scale. I added accessible to that. I think it's also important that it is accessible, but yeah, so that's sort of the tagline.
Okay.
And so we should just put the date on it. Okay. Um, our mission, and this is where David came
Yep.
in, so I'm gonna let you read
Okay.
it. I don't need to.
To make professional patient education and support free and accessible to every rare disease family by eliminating barriers to enhance their quality of life and health outcomes.
Okay, next slide.
So table of contents in terms of what we're going to show you. Really
Okay,
great
that's good.
opportunity, solution, what we've proven to, that we've currently proven that works for a couple of
Good. Next slide.
indicators. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, here we go.
All right,
I'm
here's the
ready.
market.
Do we need the number 1 at the top?
That's just from the table of contents.
Can I get rid of it?
We can remove that, but that's just correlates with the table of contents.
Okay.
Because I'm
Yeah, that's fine.
So I think if we want to talk about the orphan drug market and that opportunity, but that.
So I'm looking
Yeah.
through the slide. Okay, next
Yeah,
slide.
next. So here's
Okay.
where we come in.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
That's the landscape.
Hold on here, David.
Hold
Slow
on,
down.
David, you're so.
David, you're
You
not
said
following.
okay. I thought okay, man. Next.
Oh, sorry. So here's, so this is, a draft. You might want to get, well, whatever. So this is I mean, graphically this needs work, but it basically shows, that,
I can
all the
clean it up. I'll clean
advantages.
it up. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a competitive landscape, basically a table that shows why somebody to talk to is the right choice. I got you. BetterHelp. I'm familiar with that. Yeah, that's fine.
Right. And I
People
don't know
are-
if we want to
people are-
call it Thrivent or not. We're having issues between like all the names that we have for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we're going with thriving.
Yeah.
Everything's thriving from now on. Okay. When it
Okay,
comes to
next slide. Next slide.
Okay.
Okay.
I can update it. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Our solution, service offering. Our solution, B2B patient education and support platform. Somebody to talk to program. Okay, so I don't know. That's going to be coming off here, right?
Yeah,
Should be policy.
that sounds nice.
So it's somebody to talk to, right? Provides 45 minutes psychosocial support and coping skills. So there shouldn't be an and. It should be comma, coping
Yeah, I'll do that.
skills, psychosocial support, coping skills. I think it should say best practices, education.
The best practice is just education.
Well, we educate. I'm not saying that you should take off anything. I just say education should be in there.
Okay.
You can
Well,
put it
okay,
after support.
I say the word I usually use is patient best practices. Hold on a second. Patient best practices,
We're not-
strategies. We could just call this a patient education program. Patient.
Sorry.
Or
No,
program.
somebody to talk to is perfect, David. We're
Okay.
not talking about the title. We're talking about how we are articulating what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're doing right now. 45-minute weekly psychosocial program, coping skills and patient best practices, strategies with experts and community moderators. Obviously, it needs to be rewritten, but also the yellow text is not readable, so that needs to be changed.
No, I know. Is this correct for 30, just to show the scale of it for 30 to
Well, we
60?
want to do more than that. We want to be in the hundreds.
Yeah,
Per session?
Yeah, per session. Yeah.
Okay,
just leave
so
it
what do you
blank.
want to put? You want to put 50 to 100 per session?
No limit. Should be, I don't know, should be hundreds of patients. Like, that's our goal.
Yeah. Do we need to put anything?
No, we don't need to have any numbers there. We're going to tell them, or
Okay.
or the 100+ patients is fine.
Okay.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
do
do the 100+.
All right, I'll fix that. Okay.
Yeah, I can do it. Well, okay, there you go. Do we need a period at the end there? Are we doing periods or not? Looks like we're not doing periods. Okay.
Okay, empowers patients through best practices for mental well-being to ensure their successful treatment, longevity, and create a better quality of life. Collaboration engine. Communications platform / patient portal connection for all stakeholders. What is that? What is the communications platform? What is that?
Where's community? Oh, yeah, that's the collaboration engine. So that's the somebody to talk to system that we use to manage the social media marketing, the newsletters, the websites, the portals, all that stuff.
Okay, so when it says that's the collaboration engine, is the software essentially for somebody to talk to? Is that what it
Yeah.
is, David?
Yeah, that
Okay.
here.
Okay, communications technology platform, patient portal, connecting all stakeholders, highly curated content tailored to specific needs. I would maybe put for amyloidosis patients.
It's not just amyloid patients.
Well, remember, we're asking to go to 100 indication.
Okay, then we shouldn't have amyloidosis patients on that.
What do you think?
Streamlined care coordination, ensuring proactive rather than reactive support. Okay, marketing and communications platform drives patient engagement and awareness, facilitates ongoing dialogue among providers, patients, and families. Okay, so Em, I want to throw this to you and see what you think about this. David, I think there's, like anybody can do a program like this, right? I mean, like ARC could do this, anybody can do this.
Right.
But I think that, and I'm just saying this because we're all here, we're attempting to sell this.
Right.
Because I'm on this call, because of my skill set, there's a whole different type of call that we're having. So I don't know how to do it. I'm just throwing this out to M because we've never had this conversation, David.
Yeah.
That one of the things that makes our somebody to talk to unique is the fact that there's a guy on there that spent 6 years with Tony Robbins, is a professional speaker, works well with groups, understands how to manage, can manage a room and a social platform. So the point is they're actually, they're engaged with something different, like an online executive coach,
Right.
every week, right? So I don't know how to articulate that, and I'm just talking because I wanted M to hear that as well. Because anybody can do this. Like, oh, we're just doing this thing, and we get on and we talk to patients every week, and they listen to each other, right? So I don't know. I think, in my opinion, you could sell that more.
We have the staffing section, and
Yeah,
you're
but
not
I
gonna
think
do
I think, Dan, what you're saying is that they have access to what would you call it? A world, like,
I guess I don't know, it's from my perspective, it's hard. It's uncomfortable to say that. I'm not sure exactly what we say.
well, what do you call yourself? A leadership?
Human behavior expert, executive coach. I mean, there's so many different types of things, but what I do is I help people change their behavior,
Right.
whether it's sales, whether it's leadership, whether it's amyloidosis patients. They're attempting to get to a certain place, and sometimes they don't know how to get there. So you can call it what you want it, world-renowned speaker, trainer, coach, whatever. I just feel like it's part of your staff, and that's a unique thing that nobody else has, right? So that's all. Okay, so now I'm looking at this. Advisors, expertise driving innovation, staff, David Gusick, CEO. Seasoned venture-backed entrepreneur with a track record of successful startups. Lead software architect, top-tier developer socializing in scalable system design and architecture. Proven track record in high-volume sales and professional coaching.
I didn't write that. Did you write that?
That probably came out.
Where?
Proven track record, and we're at the
Dan's description.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I
So
don't
let-
think, I don't
Not
know.
me. I definitely didn't write that. I know that much.
I don't know. Okay.
So we need to change. We need to change that to like.
Oh, I think I put proven track record of, no, I actually didn't put that. I think it was,
I think I did like top 1% salesperson or something like that.
I don't know.
But I have, I mean, let
I
me
might
look.
have
doesn't
changed the wording, but the concept was there. But go ahead, no worries. This is the point. This is why we're talking.
Right, but we're not there anymore. So here we go.
Yeah, I don't see the one. I had something, I'd have to, let me go back to an earlier version maybe.
Well, it doesn't matter. What version are we on now? That's where did it go and
Well,
why
no,
is
I
this?
just want to recover it and just paste it, or you could just say something right now, how you want to describe it.
Well, let's get back to. Oh, I see at the top there. You got May 2024 top 1% keynote speaker and sales
Oh,
guru.
right, here, yeah, yeah.
So I would change sales guru to human behavior expert or to executive coach or to um, renowned executive coach or something. Because sales guru doesn't really fit into what we're trying to get done here.
Well, I'm
Or
gonna
maybe
throw something back.
Yeah.
Not for what you do on for the patient
Yeah.
side, but what
Yep.
about for the sponsorship side?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. If that's part of the sales, then yeah, we need to put that in there. So
I mean, I think the point is that the people are gonna invest in something that they know they're gonna get sponsorships for,
You're
right?
saying you don't want
Yep.
this.
I'm
We're having
saying
a-
we should keep sales guru. We
Yeah.
can add whatever Dan wants as well, but I don't,
Yeah.
I think if you have somebody who knows how to sell a sponsorship and actually has done it, then go for
Right,
it.
that's what the investors are interested in.
Yeah,
Right,
right. So what she's saying is, David, is that it should stay, is what she's
it
saying.
should stay. And if you want to have an additional,
Correct.
qualification,
Right.
go for it.
Yep. So if that's what you'd
Right.
like to do, proven track record in high volume sales, comma, professional coaching,
Oh,
um, leadership
leadership
and
and mindset.
oh, that's good. Leadership and minds. That's good. That's perfect.
okay.
Perfect. All right, moving on. We got Bob David and Stacy Goodman. All right, next.
Oh, wait, we skipped that. We moved forward because we were
Yeah, go to the next slide. Sorry.
this one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do we got here?
So this is the-
Thrivent. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, this is the ecosystem. This is essentially where Thrivent exists in the ecosystem of what we're talking about.
Should we call it something else beside target markets?
Yeah, I would just say, I'd call it, I like I don't know. I would say ecosystem, but there may be a better word.
No, I thought about that word, so I think it's, yeah.
Healthcare providers. Okay, so we're dealing with patients, we're dealing with family and caregivers, and we're also dealing with patient advocates. So is that the goal of this slide? Is to let them know who we are and who we're dealing with? Is that the outcome?
Well, it shows who our customers are. So we've got pharma and industry in dark green. That's who our customers are, the paying customers.
Yep.
We've got
Yep.
hospitals, which are going to be paying down the road. Our focus is supporting patients, their family caregivers, and also patient advocates, because patient advocates, you're a patient advocate, right? So you're kind of like in the cocoon.
Yep.
And then we've
Yep.
got the patient orgs and the extended family and community, and then healthcare providers.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm
Cool.
gonna try this. Tell me if you hate it, get rid of it. Right? If that's what we're talking about, we're showing how the patients are supported. But I don't know. You hate it, you
Maybe
love
that-
it. I don't care. I'm
what
not
do you-
attached to anything.
What are your thoughts, David?
About which?
I just
About
added
talking
patient
about
for
something.
patient support, right? It's like to show that the patient is at the center and everybody else is around,
Well, I
and
think it's
where the
where
money's
it's
coming
centered.
from.
It's that Thrivent is the hub.
Okay, so you could put Thrivent as the hub for patient support. That's what I would.
Right.
Do you like that? Okay.
I How about this? A Thrivent Patient Support Hub or is it support, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Let's try that, and if you don't like it, we could change it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, one of the things that one of my good friends is a branding expert, and he talks about, like name things what they really are.
Yeah.
So Thrivent is a hub for patient support. So if that's what it is, then let's call it that.
Yeah, yeah, or a portal or something.
I like the hub is like very powerful.
Yeah,
I
and
like
this
it.
kind of looks
Okay.
like the hub and spoke model, right?
Right.
So, okay.
All right. Next slide. All right. We just went through that. Go ahead. Next slide.
David, can you advance?
Yeah, I just feel like
Sorry.
noise outside my window. I'm just curious.
All right, so these are milestones, basically proving that it's, that it's been successful. A line.
Yep.
Nope, I have to change it.
Okay, it's just not
Right, so these are basically from a slide that David
Yeah.
had. I just reformatted them so that it's just by month, and so it's clear.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, can you go back one more slide? I just wanted to look at it.
Yeah.
Cleveland Clinic, send out 7 sponsorship, November sponsorship application interviews. I don't know what that means.
I mean, that's,
So-
we were just following up on all the applications we sent out. Wait, yeah, just
yeah.
center it. Don't use period. Don't use spacebar. Just center it.
you want me to center it? Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll do it. I'll do
I
it.
got it. I got it. I know what it is. I just have to find it. Okay, that's good. This is, it just looks weird. Okay. That's why I don't like it, because it looks weird.
Yeah, we'll have somebody design it at some point. Right, before we start showing this to people. I'm just gonna get the budgeted out of there. I don't think we need that.
I would put an and Pfizer, not a comma Pfizer.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
What?
Prothena, isn't it Prothena, BridgeBio, and Pfizer sponsorships?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll change them.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay. Wait,
On. I have to get the door. I'll be right back.
You gotcha.
okay. Okay, you know what? We should let's keep moving just because Ian's coming on in 4 minutes, so we might as well just like get to. Are you done with the slide?
Yep, I am.
Okay, so let's. This is not done yet, but basically we're doing quarter by quarter. You know, this is accomplishments. This is goals, right? So this is our goals for Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, and Q6 for the next year and a half, right? And we're gonna highlight the number of indications covered, total revenues, total number of partners, hospital partners, and total staff. So we have to fill
Okay.
that in based on the financial.
Next slide.
And then this is kind of like the org chart. One thing that Em kind of added was that we're gonna have to staff up as we take on more indications. So this is the basic corporate structure, right? You're gonna oversee sales manager, account managers, and patient liaisons as the sales manager.
Yep.
And then
Pharma
every so
sponsors.
often, we're gonna have to add another layer between you and the account manager. So it's like every 5 new indications, we're gonna have to bring on a new patient advocate account manager, right?
Right.
And then at some point, we may have to add another layer if it becomes too much, if you're managing too many people, right? We'll add another
Hey,
layer.
David, hold on 1 second. I've got my pharmacy calling, just one quick.
Yep,
Hold
yep,
on.
yep.
Okay, David, I'm back to you.
Okay, so here we've got the financial projections. We've got a pretty elaborate spreadsheet.
Yep.
So year 1, we're starting off with, after funding, we're gonna start off with $70,000 a month in revenues. I'm not
Is there
really
any way, sorry, is there any way you can make that bigger? It's very small and you're not able to read it.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Hey, it's much better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, these should be staggered a little bit because we're not going to be making $72,000 a month in month 1, right? But basically, for every indication, the way we did it is the money is going to come in around 6 months after we come up with a new indication, and that's going to be spread across 6 months. So the idea is, let's say we bring on, we did amyloidosis. We're going to start reaching out to sponsors, and then 6 months later, we should start getting the money coming in over the next few months. And if we think amyloidosis is going to bring in $200,000, we're going to split that $200,000 up over the course of 6 months. Year 2, we start really hitting a big groove, and then our goal is really around here, like year 2, 18 months. We want to be at, it doesn't list it, but we want to be at, I don't know, let's say it's like 30 indications or something like that, right? In a year and a half, or actually we want to be at the 100 in a year and a half. That's the model.
Right.
And if we reach that, we should be doing around 1.5 million a month, which ends up being, I think, like $18 million a year, right? So we're going to be at an $18 million run rate right around here, July, August of year 2.
Cool. Gotcha. A lot of info in there. Next
Yeah.
slide.
I guess Em is still away. So this is the investment opportunity. So we're using a Y Combinator Safe Note. We're looking to raise $3 million. The goal is to scale from 2 to 100 indications within 18 months. Our revenues is $1.5 million in revenues in 18 months. And our valuation terms, the way a Safe Note works is the people who invest today, the highest valuation that they're going to pay when we do our SAFE stands for simple agreement for future equity. And what it is that everyone who invests now is going to get a significant discount over the investors that we're going out to down the road. And the most that the market cap will be when we seek additional investment will be either the lower of $15 million as the total value.
I can read it. I can read it. I'm good.
Okay. Well, a lot of people don't understand what Safe Notes are. And
I realize
all 3 of
that.
us should be experts,
Yep.
by the end of next week.
Sounds good. I'm just trying to get through the slides. So,
Yep.
hire full-time
Last slide.
staff. Next, is it? Last one?
No, the best is yet to come. Go
All
ahead.
right, let's see. It ain't about
The
how
world
hard
ain't
you
all
hit.
sunshine and rainbows. It's a
Right.
very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out.
That's where it kind of stops,
That's where, yeah, I love that. That's where
Yeah.
winning is done.
The world ain't
That's
all
right.
sunshine and rainbows.
Gotta get out of
Very
Ian's here.
mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough. The world ain't all sunshine and
Okay,
rainbows.
Rocky. Okay.
That's
Let's
it.
add Ian and we'll,
Hey,
Yeah.
look, I'm telling you guys right now, we should not do this with Ian.
why?
Are you serious? It's going to be embarrassing.
No, it's okay. I'm calling this like first of all, he's a friend and he's on
I
the board of
realize that, but
directors anyway.
but we haven't even practiced with ourselves, right? So
I
we're
know,
gonna.
but M's going away. M's going to be in London starting on when? Tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. If I can take off, yes.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'll be around, but we're
So
not
here,
going to do anything
yeah,
for another week. Let me just add Ian. And
That's all right.
I
It's
would
gonna
just
be.
say, David, go ahead and lead everything.
okay, Ian, there he is. How are you, Ian? You're muted.
You're muted.
I gotta fix my camera. I mean my lighting.
All right. Now I'm not.
Okay, everyone's got their glasses on. I can't even find my glasses.
Because we're
Thank you
old.
for joining us today. So I just want to give you a little bit of background, which is, Em lives in Westport. She's another Westportian. And we're really trying to get the investor deck and presentation to be investor ready, right? And this, just for full disclosure, this is our first draft. So we're literally just going through the slides and working on grammar and reducing and cleanup and stuff like that. And wait, did Dan just leave? Did we just lose Dan?
Just went off screen, David. Just keep
Oh, okay.
focused.
Okay. So really, this, if this was like a Broadway show, I would call this like a read through. So this is like the basic concepts, and we're just looking to hear kind of like what's good, what's not good as a potential investor. What would you want to know? Things like that. So it's really just kind of like we're workshopping this thing, and we haven't even practiced. We've never even it's so raw that it's. But I would rather do this before everybody goes away on vacation. Are you going away, Ian?
What vacation? I just got
Yeah.
back.
What vacation? What are you talking about, David?
I just got back from a month away. I mean, life is a beach.
How was Asia? How was Asia?
Yeah, it was epic. It was
Oh,
great.
was epic?
Yeah, can't wait to leave again. What am I doing
Oh,
here? Yeah, but anyway, no vacation this week. So
okay. So why don't we run through this very quickly and just give us your preliminary thoughts, basically. And I'm not gonna record. Should I record this? What do you guys think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do that.
all right.
Wait, it says pause, stop recording. I guess
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
recording for the day.
Maybe
Okay.
you record automatically.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through this. Just see how I go back on this thing. Okay, so we've incorporated a new entity called Thrivent, and because somebody to talk to is a not-for-profit and we can't raise money as a not-for-profit, we're providing high-quality patient education and support at scale.
So is Thrivent a new name that you guys have created, or is
Yeah,
it?
and it's a corporate entity, so it's a 50. It's not a 501. It's a Delaware C Corp.
All
So
right.
it can take in investor capital. Our mission is to make professional patient education and support free and accessible to every rare disease patient or family by eliminating barriers to enhance their quality of life and health outcomes. Maybe hold your feedback until the end, or do you want to? Yeah,
No,
why don't you till the end?
That's fine.
Our investor presentation, we're going to cover the unmet need and market opportunity. We're going to cover our solution and business model, the competitive landscape, and go-to-market strategy. We're going to talk about traction and the milestones that we've achieved in our team. We're then going to go through financial projections and talk about the investment ask, and then we'll conclude the presentation with a call to action. The unmet need is that we're bridging the gaps in rare disease support. This is a huge and growing healthcare and behavioral health market. U.S. healthcare spend is 4.9 trillion. It accounts for roughly 17.5% of the United States GDP. The behavioral health market is $92 billion a year, and social and emotional learning, which is really the niche area that we're in, is at about $1 billion, but it's growing at about 25% per year. With over 30 million people affected by rare diseases in the United States alone, we address a multi-billion-dollar market that's currently underserved. This is the orphan drug market, and these are the pharmaceutical companies that support those patients. Traditional system is reactive when we're talking about emotional support, and it's fragmented. There's not enough practitioners to meet the demand. Psychotherapy and emotional support, as you know, is still very much a cottage industry where you have one patient to one therapist. It lacks practitioners with pragmatic knowledge of navigating a disease, and it lacks access and has a high cost and bureaucracy. 75 to 90% of doctor visits are stress related, according to the Institute of Stress. And there's tremendous health inequality in our system where people who are most at risk have the least access to these support systems. Is this the same slide? Is this?
No, this is our solution.
Okay. Okay. This is our the Thrivent solution is an integrated and low cost solution. It's a digital platform that directly connects rare disease patients and families with hospitals, doctors, and support experts. We provide high quality education and emotional support accessible from anywhere in the world at no cost to the patient. We address multiple rare diseases with proactive, comprehensive care. We've got a proven concept that's ready to scale. We launched this in 2023. It's profitable in 2 rare disease indications, and we're seeking $3 million to expand services to 100 indications. Our proprietary digital platform is already in place and is able to support rapid growth. We do a side-by-side competitive landscape. We basically compare ourselves to BetterHelp, which is probably the largest digital service providing psychological support. There's another organization called My Health Team, and basically they run portals for different indications, but they don't do webinars or live sessions. It's all kind of text-based in terms of forums and postings and posts. So we're free. We do sessions twice a week. We don't need insurance because it's free. Our business model is business to business. In order for us to reach $1 million in sales, we can get 5 to 10 corporate sponsors. We bring in quality thought leaders, and we do skills-based training and support. We work in a group model and not one-on-one, and our cost per user for a 15-minute session is about $1.50 per participant. We want to do a quality of life survey over the course of 12 weeks to measure impact, but we haven't done that yet. I'll compare us to BetterHelp first. They charge $100 per session. It's once a week. You can do more, but it's going to be $100 for each additional session. They do accept insurance, but it's business to consumer. So they hit $1 million in revenue, they have to get 2,000 customers. I've signed up for their platform. It's random therapists who don't seem like they're very high quality. It's one-on-one, and there's a high cost involved. So each therapist, I believe, charges about $60 out of the $100 per session. Our solution is service offering. Our solution is business-to-business patient education support platform. Thrivent's Somebody to Talk To program provides 45-minute weekly psychosocial support, coping skills, and patient best practice strategies with experts and community moderators that can handle over 100 patients.
David, just one
Yeah.
second. I know you
Yeah.
wanted to say a comment. I almost think this slide should precede the last slide.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, because you're getting into the weeds on shit.
Yeah.
And this is more of the story, but I'll give you some feedback in a little bit.
Okay. Our program empowers patients through best practices for mental well-being to ensure their successful treatment, longevity, and create a better quality of life. We have access to recognized expert leadership and coaches for mindset education. The collaboration engine is something that we've coined. It's a communications and technology platform / patient portal that's connecting all stakeholders that are involved in patient care. We've got highly curated content tailored to the specific needs of each patient community. We streamline care coordination, ensuring proactive rather than reactive support. marketing and communications platform. We drive patients' engagement and awareness and facilitate ongoing dialogue among providers, patients, and families. This is what the Thrivent is a hub for patient support. The two areas highlighted in green are technically our clients, who they're the ones who are going to be paying for all of this. Immediately, as of now, we're going to be focusing on pharma and industry for revenues, but down the road, we are going to have a subscription model where hospitals will subscribe and they can participate in all of the indications. So here, I guess the key takeaway is that Thrivent is a hub and spoke model. So we're in the center of it, and we are the people that we're caring for are patients, family caregivers, and patient advocates. But we partner with patient organizations to drive awareness and do marketing on our behalf. We work with extended family and community beyond the patient's family to raise awareness about the disease and the challenge that these patients are facing. And then healthcare providers, we try to raise awareness for healthcare providers about these rare diseases and how to diagnose them and treat them best and to better understand their patients. Our team is made up of, the core team is myself. I'm a seasoned venture-backed entrepreneur. Sukhjinder Singh, I've been working with Sukh for about 10 years. He's a system developer and system architect. Dan Lear, he's a sales coaching executive. He's got a proven track record of high volume sales and professional coaching, leadership, and mindset. We have an advisory board of seasoned top 1% professionals. Too many to list, but I'll list a couple here. Bob David is the in-house psychotherapist at Boston Medical Center with expertise in supporting cancer and sickle cell disease patients. We also have Dr. Stacy Goodman, who was the founder and director of Vanderbilt's amyloidosis multidisciplinary program called VAMP. She also worked for the VA for a number of years and has done over 2,000 bone marrow transplants. She's also on the board of the Amyloidosis Foundation, which I don't know if I mentioned to you, Ian, but we signed a partnership agreement with them in January. So they are now working with us to promote our sessions and our offering. Our broader advisory network includes additional industry-leading experts spanning healthcare, technology, and business. Ian, I consider you to be one of those advisors. Here's some of the milestones from 2024. In May, Dan joined the organization. He's a top 1% keynote speaker and sales guru. I was invited by Pfizer to join their late onset rare disease working group. And both Dan and I were introduced to Dr. Stacy Goodman at the amyloidosis conference at the Mayo Clinic. In August, Dan was then invited to join Pfizer's late onset rare disease working group. And we kicked off our hospital partnership program with Boston Medical Center as our first partner. In September, Cleveland Clinic.
David,
Yeah.
during this timeline,
Yeah.
how many programs did you deliver?
Well, so you can see in December, Dan and I, for just amyloidosis, we completed 26.
So prior to that,
Oh.
I participated in a session
Correct.
sometime earlier.
Yes, that's one of the 26.
Oh, one of the 26. Was that in December? Were those all done in December? Or
No. We did. It says completed 26 sessions in 6 months. So
All
you were one of the 26 sessions
Yeah, I would spread that out to show that you were delivering services
on a regular basis.
over time. Like, you're not just starting now.
Okay. So in September, we brought on top tier hospitals. Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic are considered the number 1 and number 2 hospitals in the world. So we feel like we're going to be able to bring on more hospitals relatively quickly. In September, we sent out 17 sponsorships to pharmaceutical companies just in the amyloidosis space.
Yeah.
And then in November, we ended up following up with them and interviewing for sponsorships. Again, in December, we completed 26 sessions to date in 6 months. And we created a questionnaire to all session attendees measuring the system's efficacy. So we talked about things like, how did it impact your quality of life? How did it impact feelings of isolation? How did it impact your understanding of the disease? How did it impact your overall self-care? In January, we started getting responses to our proposals. We got Prothena, BridgeBio, Pfizer, and I feel like we're missing somebody, but
The one you just mentioned.
Alnylam.
What's
You
that?
go about Alnylam.
Alnylam as sponsors. The Amyloidosis Foundation signed their partnership agreement, and Dan Lear is confirmed to give a keynote address at the World Orphan Drug Congress in Boston in the end of April, which is huge. It's going to be 2,000 people. He's going to be in front of pharmaceutical companies, patient organizations, researchers, and we think it's going to be a watershed moment where we really kind of like have our coming out party. And then Dr. Goodman has joined our team as a medical advisor.
Mhm.
This is our future traction and milestones. This slide's not complete yet, but basically these are the next 6 quarters, the next year and a half. And we're basically laying out how many new indications we're going to take on each quarter, and then how much our projected revenues are for each quarter, the number of hospital partners we're going to have by quarter, and then what our staffing is going to look like for each quarter. This is our basic org chart. We've got centralized services. So Dan is going to be leading up sales and revenue. We still have somebody who's going to head up marketing and communications. Suk is going to do digital development, and Dr. Goodman is going to be doing hospital partnerships. So if we look at the sales kind of not funnel, but infrastructure, we're going to have a patient advocate who's also going to be an account manager. Dan will oversee that person. This is just for one indication, and they're going to reach out to pharma sponsors in their designated indication. They'll work together to secure sponsorships, and then as we take on more and more sponsors, what we're going to have to do is add an additional layer of for every 5 new indications, we're going to have to hire another patient advocate manager. Does that make sense? The idea is that one patient advocate manager can handle probably 5 indications. That's our assumption. We'll see how it plays out once we get there. Then and this is same for indication number 2 and indication number 3. And then for our hospital partnerships, Dr. Goodman's going to oversee that. She's already at the VA. She already worked with partnering with hospitals, so she's got connections at a lot of different hospitals, and she's going to be securing more and more hospitals so we can get to 100 hospital partners. We're already probably at like 7 or 8, so we feel confident we can get there. And then I'm there at running the show. In terms of financial projections, our goal is in year 2, around a year and a half, that we should be doing a run rate of about $1.5 million per month. And that equates to, I think, about $18 million a year in revenue. And we think this is achievable if we can, as long as we can hit our milestones and bring on new indications at a rapid pace. Our system is built for that. We just need to prove out that we can do it. Finally, the investment request and the use of proceeds of funds. So our investment request is we're looking to raise $3 million using a Y Combinator safe. Are you familiar with safes?
Yeah.
Okay. So using those funds, our goal is to get from 2 indications to 100 in 18 months, get to $1.5 million in monthly revenues in 18 months. And the safe is set up so that you're getting a discount on the next round of funding. So we're going to put our market cap on the next round of funding for people who invest now at $15 million. We think our market cap will be significantly higher than that a year and a half from now after we take on more sponsors and more revenues. Or you're investing at the lower of a $15 million market cap or a 20% discount on the next round. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're getting a boost.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
What we're going to use the funds for is hiring full-time staff, enhancing the leadership team, building out sponsorships and a relationship manager team to engage with pharmaceutical partners, and then build the program and the content that goes along with each indication.
Mhm.
And then from a technological standpoint, we're going to be building out more technology infrastructure to make the system easier to use and more scalable. And that is it. And then we can show you Rocky. You want to see Rocky? We don't need to see Rocky. We'll just say this. This kind of encapsulates Dan's mindset. where mindset is everything. And basically, this is anecdotal, but the people who I've seen thriving, who have these rare disorders, are athletes, and it's not because they are physically fit. It's because they're very in tune with their body for sure, but it's really about overcoming adversity. And when you're a seasoned athlete, you're constantly faced with setbacks, and you have to have the mindset that this is just one obstacle in the way of me achieving my goals, and that underlines and underscores what we're really trying to teach the patients.
Very David Goggins.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
We're not able to use him though. He drops too many F-bombs, Ian.
Well, all right. Quick feedback.
Yeah.
So who's the target audience? Investors, potential investors?
Yeah.
Okay. So a few things. I think, I don't need to see a deck where somebody reads to me every line of the presentation that's there.
Yeah.
What I'd respond better to is tell me your story.
Yeah.
You can show me supporting information. Because here you've got to identify, here's a problem we've identified
Mm-hmm.
and an opportunity. And we're providing an answer. We're providing a solution, something that's supportive of this unmet need in this marketplace.
Yeah.
And we've demonstrated already through testing, through the past few years, because, you're only going back 6 months, but really, David, I mean, there's 4 years of effort going into developing this entire process through
Right.
live interactive sessions.
Yeah.
And so it's important to say that this has been in development. To me,
Yeah.
this is the product. So then, so the story is we're meeting this incredible need and we're delivering great value.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing something that offers, people, not only are they getting skills training, but they're becoming members of a community.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're seeking support not only from those who facilitate these sessions, but from one another.
Yeah.
Who are some of their best teachers, or at least their best supporters, because there's the shared experience
Mm-hmm.
with this, this serious condition in whatever form it takes. And Dan, I remember I think you have one experience with amyloidosis, but I understand from what little I've learned that everybody's experience with this is different. And so,
Absolutely.
there's a lot to that too. It's like just the fact that, you're in a community where you have to have a special understanding of what it's like to live with this and to power, to figure out strategies for getting through it, mindset, and how do people who maybe haven't been competitive athletes kind of develop a mindset, which is an alien concept. So anyway, I think the idea of really crafting a story where, in 10 minutes, hey, Dave, what are you up to? Well, let me tell you, doing this cool thing. And then the slides are supportive. And if people want to dig into the details, here's what we're doing. Here's how we do it. Here's who we're serving. And, and then you can kind of get into the granularity of the business plan. I don't think the business plan for the investor deck is as important as, telling. It's kind of like Shark Tank, right?
Yep.
Here's a story, get me at hello or lose me forever.
Right.
Because I want to know that I'm investing in something that, one, that I'm actually making an investment that has a high probability in a world where everything, 90% of things go to zero.
Right.
I want to be persuaded that the opportunity here and the need here for this service is such that, and that you guys are the guys to meet that need, is so persuasive that you know what, I'm intrigued. Now show me how you're gonna deliver me that return on my money. What are the risk factors? Who are the competitors? You kind of indicated who they are, but you can also say that's kind of the interesting thing. They're not. The pharma companies that are, and some people hate going into an industry where there's no competition because, well, what's wrong with it? But you gotta be able to answer for that. So that's my kind of
Excellent.
my feedback. And you guys are, you guys are great storytellers. I mean, that's the key. is, and you know, and the slideshow's too dense and too many details. You know,
Yeah.
you had me glazing over, and I'm trying to read. You know, my tendency is I'm listening to you, kind of reading the lines, but not acting the lines. You know, when you deliver a line like that, you want to tell that story. Why is this important? It's got to be not just the flat. You know, it's like having you know, kind of somebody reading me subtitles because I can't read. Right, I'm deaf.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other thing is, so you could really streamline that. And then, you know, for more information, or, you know, to dig deeper into this, if you're interested, let us show you more. But I think the storytelling is critical to this. And then the demonstration of how this investment, you know, show me the mechanics of how this investment works.
Right. Right.
You know, and so, you know, and that's part of the story. So all right, I'm gonna put in whatever I'm gonna put in. You know, here's the vehicle. Here's how we believe we'll be starting to return money to investors. You know, what that looks like if things go, you know, kind of base case, you know, worst case, base case, better case. You know, the various scenarios, the ranges we see. So that's really it. I think it's simplifying, colorifying, and adding some of the passion that I know you guys feel about the work you're doing.
Thank you, Ian.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
One of the things I'm thinking is like we're leaving for Florida tomorrow and to see Robin's parents. But like I was thinking, the Shark Tank example I think is perfect. And I am gonna kind of like give myself my own assignment. Like I'm gonna say, watch 50 to 100 of the best Shark Tank, you know, presentations, and start noticing, because these guys are heavily coached, right? They don't get onto national television without being heavily coached and having a very, you know,
Of
great
course, yeah.
story. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I think if I watch 50 successful people who actually got funded on Shark Tank, I'll be able to kind of, and I would recommend that Dan and M do it also. But I think you watch 50 of those and you'll see the patterns, and you'll see what the story should look like and feel like.
And it'll be less text and more imagery.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yep.
and I don't know how, you know, you can work that out, but I think there's an important, there's a really important story to tell here, and it's a very human story.
Yeah,
And it's about community and connection, especially at a time when people find themselves so unbelievably vulnerable and scared. You know, no matter what the condition is, you know, the emotions are, I'm sure, the human experience is very similar. Dealing with uncertainty.
Yeah, and it's just for rare disease patients now, right? I mean, the goal is that everybody could benefit from it, right? Dan knows this. Like anybody could benefit from a program like this, and having, you know, a community and a support network, and you know, somebody to talk to, basically.
Of course, and you know, so some people, like if you go into, let's say, the recovery world, you know, or Overeaters Anonymous, you know, the AA model, right?
Yeah.
That community, though, provides people with a form of therapy that many people have never gotten. You know, the professionals go deeper, right? They start with the 12 steps and then they seek their private therapy, or maybe they start with therapy and they seek, you know, the support of the community. But there's so much to be said for this, you know, the group support.
Absolutely.
And connection and community that comes with it. So I think, you know, and you guys are demonstrating, certainly like the sessions that I've been a part of, you know, seem to really connect with people. And, you know, like I loved when we were doing the sessions with Duchenne's.
Yeah.
And seeing the, you know, the parents who've just gotten the diagnosis.
Yeah.
The child. And then you have others who've been living with this condition for many years. And, you know, they've kind of come to a place of, you know, they're centered, they're peaceful, they're kind of managing things, and they're providing kind of a, you know, kind of a reference point, you know, for these newcomers who are dealing with, you know, the unimaginable. They haven't caught their breath yet.
The irony, maybe it's not irony, but one of the things that I noticed from the Duchenne community was I always assumed the older parents help the younger parents, right? Because they've been living with it for 10 years or whatever it is. And I always thought that it was going to be the younger parents who benefited the most from these sessions. But I really observed that it was the older parents who had all this knowledge built up about caring for a child with Duchenne, but had nowhere to put that knowledge or energy to work. And then when they were able to say, hey, this is the sleep time routine that we do, I take care of my son during the day, and then my husband sleeps in his room at night, and he has to turn him every 2 hours. It's these older parents that got more of a therapeutic value from the sessions than the younger parents. It's just something I observed,
Well, but I think that's the beauty of this. It's kind of like, we always learn more by teaching
Hmm.
than as a student.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much growth comes from that experience. So look, I think you guys clearly the market's speaking. Another thing that you don't talk about is, what these companies, you talk about the multi-billion-dollar opportunity, but or industries. In the early kind of slides about, these orphan drugs and the huge costs, but you guys are really just looking to be, you're offering support to the pharmaceutical companies that are providing these life-saving medications to a population, and you're helping them to be more effective in the relationships. So it's very humanistic in that, it gives these organizations a better way to support the people who are using their medication. What I didn't get was any kind of sense of pricing. What is a subscription, cost? What is a pharmaceutical company willing to invest
Right.
in the support? You got the numbers out there, but I don't understand how you get there.
Sure. I mean, the rough numbers are, we did it like a phased in approach. Like year one, we said for a disease like amyloidosis, we would expect around $200,000 to $250,000 in sponsorship. Year two, we said as we get more established in that industry or in that indication, that would grow to, let's say, 600,000 to $1 million. And then in year three, we think it would be like 1.5 million to $2.5 million in sponsorships. And that's
Okay.
based on what other organizations are doing in the industry.
Yeah.
So
And by the way,
Yeah.
I don't know what budgets are, but it doesn't sound like a lot of money.
Well,
What-
I think
There's
it's
a
growth-
slide that you have in terms of budgets, the blue slide. I don't know if that's relevant or not.
You mean the pharmaceutical budgets?
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
slide
right.
at the very, that
Yeah, I
slide.
created this infographic. So this is the amyloidosis ecosystem.
Mhm.
And basically, we say the orphan drug market's around $500 billion. Right now, there's 4 drugs that are FDA approved. Pfizer has one called Vyndaqel and Vyndamax that does $3 billion in revenue.
Mhm.
Janssen has a product called Darzalex that does about $10 billion in revenue. And Alnylam, who's a sponsor, and Pfizer's a sponsor, but Alnylam does about $1 billion with their products Onpattro and Amvuttra. And then Ionis is new. But and all these are phase 1 clinical trials, 2, 3, and 4. And there's about 72 trials going on right now. To get FDA approved costs around $250 million. And only about 1 in 5 drugs actually gets FDA approved. So it's almost like $1 billion investment. And then they're chasing after maybe, there's 5,000 to 7,000 patients diagnosed per year. And there's only about 400 to 600 doctors who are qualified to diagnose and treat these rare diseases.
So
there's
in
a
terms,
lot of investment chasing after a very few set of eyeballs, and we become kind of like the gatekeeper to those patients and doctors.
yeah, and I think it's really important that you draw that out, like where
Yeah.
you fit in the
Ecosystem.
ecosystem. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's important. It's also important to maybe, if you can, I'm curious. It's like, well, to understand the underlying assumptions behind the business plan. For example, what are they spending and why are they spending it? In what category does this fall under for them? Is it patient support? Is it, I don't even know what the categories they would have.
Right.
Is it sales? Is it marketing?
Patient
Is it
affairs.
patient? Yeah.
affairs,
So whatever the categories, I don't speak the language, the pharmaceutical language, but I think if we understand that language,
Yeah.
and can speak, in terms of, whatever the the classic, kind of pharmaceutical speak is.
Yep.
And here's here's where we're fitting into this ecosystem.
And a lot of the marketing dollars, let's say it's like $20 million per drug per year. A lot of that is going to pharmaceutical sales reps who are kind of working with regional doctors to build awareness for their drug. Our
Right.
newsletters get in front of these doctors and prescribers on a weekly basis. So it's the type of thing where we can kind of like preempt a sales call. We know when the doctors open it, which articles they read, and where they are and on what device they're on. So we get a lot of information from and we have a 47% open rate on our newsletters.
So I mean, these are cool things. Like, these are cool kind of business plan things. And I
Yeah.
think the streamlining the story, problem / opportunity, our solution, kind of the human piece, that there's a robust financial model, all these things. And it's the Shark Tank. So I think you're onto something, and it's just going to be, you've got a lot of information, but you're going to put people to sleep, or you kind of lose them if you get too granular too soon. Yeah. All right. I mean, if you need anything from me, I think it's,
May I ask a question? And I don't know, Ian, if you are apt to answer it, or, in terms of the comfort level. So because I think, thank you, because understanding the opportunity here, what, as an investor, or for an investor, putting that sort of character on, cap on, would make you want to invest on a financial level? Like, once the story is there, it's compelling, the operations has been thought through, the leadership is, check the box, the conviction of the purpose of it.
it's a great question. So
Yeah.
I think there are a few things. One of them would be, what's my investment horizon? How quickly, in what time frame do I expect to get my initial investment out, and then thereafter, what's my expected return if everything goes well? The second would be, what are the various kind of exit options or opportunities? Who's likely to acquire this entity at some point in the future? Or is this entity likely to acquire others? Investors are looking for typically, 5 to 7 years, I think, some shorter, but that's, kind of a reasonable amount of time. And they want to be able to harvest that investment in some period of time. So knowing kind of when my money's coming back, and kind of what the return will be, what's the internal rate of return on that investment, or the gross return. So I think that those, that's based on your model, right? Based on our modeling, based on these assumptions, we project with a great degree of, confidence that this is what's likely based on these assumptions.
What about something like, just listening to you speak about, like, this is why we're not going to go out of business, or this is why we're not going to fail, and it's like, well, we've already brought on sponsors, we've already brought on a partner. Like, my philosophy with software development is, the way to build a successful software product is there's like 100 different ways to fail at making a software product. And if you eliminate all those ways to fail, you end up succeeding. And I think maybe a business is sort of like that also. It's like, manage your cash, grow, only take on expenses that you can support, that kind of thing. Do you think that if we show that we're not going to go out of business, is that relevant? Or do you think they just want to see the upside? And they know.
I mean, I think, any investor wants to not only think of the risks, but know that you've thought of them too. Any sophisticated investor is going to, really sophisticated investor who, plays in this domain, is going to pepper you with really challenging questions. And, they're not going to part easily with their money in most cases. And there are plenty of guys I know who just look for all the reasons in the world not to invest. And so they say no many, many, many more times than they say yes, even to good ideas. So, I think it's good for you to identify, here's what we see as the potential risk factors.
Right.
It could be a competitor. The pharmaceuticals do it on their own. Who knows? You could list those. And your answer to some of those, and we think we've managed for this in the following ways, because you've just explained that, you've already done it. You're up and running. You've got a first mover advantage in the space. You've got a track record of experience. You've built the assets. I think that's another thing to talk about is what are the assets of the organization? To be, what have you created? Well, there's some content, there's some proprietary technology, there's some tools here that have been carefully thought through and constructed so that you have what you said as a platform. And it's a very, it seems pretty versatile. So that's, reduces risk as well.
This is great. This is great. Do you guys have more questions for you?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And lovely to quote unquote to Pixel meet you.
Exactly. You're here in town, right?
I'm in town. Yeah.
And
We have children in the same grade that David and I, so
Okay.
who
All
are
right.
in theater, so we should ask them for the Dog and Pony Show.
There you go.
And
Great.
which part of town do you live? Where
I
are you?
live on Saugatuck Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Dan, you're still out in Las Vegas?
Actually, I just moved to Austin,
Cool.
Austin, Texas. I should be more
Actually,
clear.
Ian's daughter,
Keep it weird, baby.
Tabitha, his daughter, right? Is that Tabitha?
Yeah.
Your daughter, yes?
Yeah, my now 23-year-old, I think. Shit.
Yeah.
She's getting old.
Oh, congrats! Yeah,
She graduated 2 years ago from UT. She had a great time in that town.
I
Yeah.
bet she did.
It's a great city. Oh, good. Well,
Yep.
enjoy. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Okay,
Have a
thank
great
you, Ian.
weekend.
Thank you, and
Yeah.
lovely to meet you.
Yeah,
Have a
likewise.
great
Pleasure.
weekend. And I'll get a summary and share it with you guys.
See you guys.
Okay.
Bye, Ian.
Okay, you guys want to stay on for a second more?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll stop the share. Okay. Wasn't terrible.
Dan does not look happy right now.
Oh, I'm not. No, David just said it wasn't terrible. That's not a very high standard.
Well, we kind of wung it, right? I mean, it's like,
A kind of.
well, listen, I wanted to get something under our belt. So now like the seal has been broken, right? And now we can move forward and not be self-conscious and not seek perfection right out of the gate and make this thing bigger and better. And we already have a tremendous amount of feedback to do that.
So what I heard, I wrote down some notes. Obviously you heard the same thing, but the story is important, right?
Yeah.
The story is important. So opening up with, I could tell my story about amyloidosis, because that's what we're doing, and about amyloidosis
something new.
patients and about the issues that we have. I mean, that's easy. But okay, then what I wrote down was the what, how, and who. Okay, what do we do? How are we doing it? And who are we doing it for? Right. So the story goes first. This is the story. And then what are we doing? Right. So now we've got this platform called Somebody to Talk To. We're connecting these patients to solve that problem that I just talked about.
Yeah.
How are we doing it? Okay. You've got the platform, you got this, that, and the other. Who is our customers? Then you can show that infographic. Yep. I think that
Oh, go ahead. Got a
I just
couple more
think that it
things,
could be a much, like he said, a much simpler presentation with pictures. And then, like he said, if they're interested in the opportunity, then we send them the numbers.
I heard two more things. I don't know if it's.
Oh, I heard a lot
No.
of things, but keep going.
Yeah, no, but like in the sequence, if we're gonna sort of focus
Yeah.
on high level, one is after all of that, in addition to that, is you know, how the scale of pharma and where we fit into their budget, like where their money is coming from, meaning we have to educate people how pharma money is structured and dished out
Right.
to some degree. You know, like the
Mm.
pharma spending landscape and what piece we're getting. And then the fourth is, you know, the whole investment, the last question I asked him, which was basically like, as an investor, what's, you know, what you absolutely have to know, which is, this is the time frame and this is your IRR.
That's that horizon you mentioned, like 7 years.
Yeah, yeah. Because if you don't have, you know, and then anything else that we have, I don't know if it's in the pharma spending in terms of risk or how we have thought through the risk factor of whatever. Like, so there's a book, Dan, did we talk about the Blue Ocean? Do you know the Blue Ocean
I'm
strategy?
familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm familiar.
Are you familiar with it, David?
We discussed it the other day.
Oh, yeah, okay,
It's a
so,
different
okay.
term, but I think it's an apt term for what we're doing.
Yeah. And it can be an asset and it can be it can be a
Maybe just
liability.
explain it to
Depends on how you use it, depends on who's in front of you, but yeah.
Can you explain it to us?
Sure. So the Blue Ocean strategy is essentially if you're saying that, so the typical example is, you know, competitive markets, very bloody, all the sharks are, you know, fighting each other to get to the same piece of the pie. We're saying we're in a totally different galaxy. We're not even competing with that in terms of that the value we're creating is beyond that category, right? Which is like no competition. So example, Cirque du Soleil took the circus category and just blew it apart but still provided the same type of value, which is bringing families together for entertainment, right? But you don't have the animals, you don't have the vets, you don't have the schlep, you don't have, you know, and on and on.
If you think about it, Dan, I think our competitors, I didn't put it in the presentation, but it's these other patient organizations. So like our
Right, right,
competition is like the
right.
guys that we saw out at BridgeBio in San Francisco.
And that's my point. That's my point, David, about our proposition, not only our portal, but you know, our personnel.
Right.
You know,
Right. Those are sleepy mom and pop. And this is why I think another reason why I love what we're doing is I like businesses that go after a sleepy industry that's overlooked by the rest of the world. Like nobody's like, hey, let's go into the patient affairs business and start asking patient affairs departments for money. Like nobody's doing that. And what we're saying is, yes, they're underfunded, but we're so much better head and shoulders above the rest that the money will come to us, right? Because we're professionals, we're efficient, and we provide value.
And consistent. And consistent.
And consistent.
Right? Like, so the Crohn's Foundation, and
Yeah.
they're all like, okay, everyone run on your own. Good luck. Have your call. You know, oh, great, it's happening. Oh, great, it's not happening. You know, there's no.
yeah, like I've heard of models
gravity.
where there's organizations that they try to do quarterly stuff. I mean, you know, they do meetups and stuff, and nobody comes. You know, it's
Right.
hard.
Right.
Well, I
because
went.
it's-
I'll tell you. I'll give you a quick example. I went to World Amyloidosis Day, which was about a month ago,
Yeah.
and I went to the Mayo Clinic out in Phoenix just to experience what they were doing. They had a room full of people. They came in. It was not well organized, meaning, I guess the presenter could have done a better job of organizing and interjecting with the audience because they weren't a professional. The person that was doing it was my cardiologist, and so she's not good with the room. So we had all these people. There's probably 70, 80 people, 100 people in this room. And I'm sitting at an 8 top or a 10 top with other people. And the feedback was, well, shit, I wish we could go talk to some other people. I wish other people would tell their stories. I wish we could hear what's happening. I mean, like I came here to interact with other people because I don't see anybody with amyloidosis. So they had an in-person meeting and their needs still weren't met.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine how much money Mayo spent to advertise the World Amyloidosis Day and to get people to come. And then the patients got almost nothing out of it. They got a dinner.
Yeah.
So
Right.
anyway, go ahead. That's our competition.
Yeah, and if you look at even in the amyloidosis space, the two of the three biggest organizations, two of them are led by octogenarians. It's like they had a relative who had amyloidosis 25 years ago, and they started something, and just by being in the space 25 years ago, they've grown. But they don't know anything about the internet. They don't know about anything about digital marketing or social media
And they're
marketing.
not a hub, right? Like that's what you said. Like they don't have the tools that provide the consistency and the professionalism and the quality of moderator slash motivator.
And
Uh,
what I think we're ultimately going to do is we're going to go indication, 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 and we're going to just take over patient affairs in each of those indications. And we're going to become the best, most efficiently run organization for each of those things, or we'll partner with the patient organizations so that they become more efficient.
So let me ask a question, just
Yeah.
to play devil's advocate as a risk, right? In the same way that I said, how do you get to 100 with personnel? Like that's your challenge, right? So, what makes pharma not take over what we're doing?
First of all, they're only interested in
yeah,
promoting
they don't care.
in their medication, and that's it. That's it. They don't want to
You
get
know, but what I'm
involved.
saying is if I'm a pharma and I want my target market,
Yeah.
why wouldn't I spend $3 million
Right.
doing what you do?
This is,
Good.
I believe
I
that
mean, I'm
Pfizer-
just being I'm gonna be I'm being a
devil's
pain in the ass.
Well,
on purpose.
we're gonna give you the answers.
Great.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So
oh, you want to say, or do you want me to, you want to?
it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So I think that Pfizer is going to become our first $1 million client. And the reason why is I think once we've done sickle cell and a bunch of indications, we can go to Pfizer and say, we can build a community for each of your medications for X $1 million a year, whatever it is. And we will run support groups and patient education they have 355 different medications that are FDA approved. So we can go out there, we've got the infrastructure and the expertise to build for all of their medications.
But
Much lower cost.
pretend I don't want to have to pay you.
Yeah, but you didn't answer
I'm-
the question, David. You didn't answer the question. The question
I'm
was,
Pfizer. I got money up the wazoo.
Yeah.
I can
So
spend $3 million tomorrow and say, I'm building this thing out and I'm going to start creating these communities. Why?
yeah.
What?
And so the answer is
Okay, go
they
ahead.
probably could. They probably could. I mean, obviously they've got the resources. My belief is they don't care and they don't want to. They've got enough shit going on. So like we're connecting with healthcare providers, doctors, patients, and we have a platform that we can communicate with people. We have a platform where we can send out newsletters and communicate with people, doctors, people. They don't have that. I mean, can they get it? Sure, they can.
It's just
But can they
that's a matter of money, but the
Well,
patient,
exactly.
right?
But the point. But your point is why can't they do it? Well, of course they can, and they could buy us in a year, right? But they're not going to do it along. They're not going to compete with us. They don't want to. They have to go find. Then they have to go find like all these coaches and all this stuff. And we said we can scale it. I mean, if it was that easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah, I think Dan's right. They'd be going into a new business, right?
It's a new business.
They're not in the patient education business. They're in the therapeutic development and sales business. Right?
Okay.
So they'd be
That's
getting
fine.
out of their core competency. Second, like Alnylam, they very much want to distance themselves from the organization. So they give us an unrestricted educational grant, and they don't want to know. They want to see the work that we're doing, understand that it's good work for the community, but they're very, very cognizant of keeping their hands off. And even Pfizer, they're like, we don't want to mention our medications. We don't want you to be promoting our medications. We want you to be promoting patient education. That's it. Like so they're going to get rid of that wall if they go into the business themselves.
So
Which they-
that's the answer. The answer is they're not going into it because the wall is part of their whatever that they have to. I mean, I don't know if they have to by law
and
have
there's
a wall or
a lot of legal and compliance issues. Like Pfizer is very much aware of compliance. So them running the program, I think almost by definition, puts them out of compliance.
So that to me is a very compelling point.
Okay. There we go.
Meaning they are
Have
not
to
allowed
sooner
to,
or later, right?
they're not allowed to do that because it doesn't, you know, I mean, you'll have to make sure it's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is
Yeah.
real, but you know, pharma can't do this because they have compliance issues. Patient organizations can't do this because they don't have their act together to do it consistently. And it would be one by one by one, you know, unless you're American Heart Association, but you know, you have such diversity in the quality of patient education across all of the patient organizations. We are standardizing that kind of care. And thirdly, it's the orphan drug market just doesn't have the patient organization muscle and funding that the larger like American Heart or whatever may or
Right.
may not have. I don't know if I'm talking it out of my nose, but that's my perception, right?
Right.
And so that's where we feel this need that for the people who have money, they can't replicate it for legal issues. For the people who don't have money, or have the money, they don't have the operations and
Right.
prioritization to do that because they're
Entrepreneurial
dealing with their
mindset.
research.
These
Yeah.
people aren't entrepreneurs, right? They're kind of
Yeah.
like people affected by the disease who initially wanted to fund research in this rare disease that wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. So they're busy dealing with getting grants for funding the research. The pharmas are busy getting FDA approval, and so there's this void in the market that is patient support, and we
Very
are
good.
filling that void. That's what I'm trying to.
Right.
I mean, you know.
So we should think about divvying up, like dividing this presentation and conquering. Like you know, I mean, we still need to refine it, but like Dan, you should pick out the slides and sections that you want to talk about. No, you're shaking your head no.
I'm just, anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so you know, we'll work on this. I'll work on this over the next week. I'm happy to do it. We need to continue to refine it based on the feedback that we're getting, incorporate it, and maybe based on what Ian said, we need to overhaul the whole thing. But I think it's more of a refinement, right? Like I think we need to get into the storytelling mode, which I feel more comfortable with anyway. But we should take his feedback, you know, and see what we agree with, see what we push back on, and make the presentation better. And that'll be our next iteration. That's maybe due next week.
So what's the action steps?
I'm gonna do a summary of Ian's feedback based on AI and the recording from this session. I'm gonna make a list of 50 successful Shark Tank pitches because I think we should watch them and learn, and we need to be as sharp as they are, and then we need to create action steps for how we're going to revise our current presentation to make it better, you know, based on Ian's feedback and what we think is appropriate. What do you think?
Well, yeah, that's what we should do. Yep.
I think the only piece we're missing is that we haven't touched upon yet. Really, the two types of content that we don't quite have are the pharma spending, you know,
Right.
scale of pharma spending, and the horizon for investors and their return. That piece we don't have at all. I think
I've seen a statistic that the average marketing spend for a therapy in rare disease is like $20 million. That's their marketing spend, but that's not
Holy
us.
cow.
What's that?
I said, holy cow.
Yeah.
yeah, well, but again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as an investor, right?
Yeah.
So I'm putting in whatever, $3 million. What are you proposing to get back out of that? I haven't seen it clearly stated as to what happens. I mean, I've seen the operations, but I haven't said, okay, now you're going to get your money back and you're going to get a coupon. I got it, but that doesn't mean you're going to get your money back. And that's the piece that you should think about on the financial. I don't know how you want to think about it.
Okay.
But in terms of like that, I think, I don't know. I'll let me think about it because I like to think in on paper, you know.
Yeah.
Because I do think, I think it's just about what we show and the story.
Yep, I
You know,
agree.
you always start with the why, you know,
Right.
so. That's it.
Um,
So I'll put
so
my thoughts together too, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, we're here three talking about it. I think what I'd like to do, what when do we have a proposed meeting date when we're going to meet next?
She's going to London, so it's.
You're going to Florida.
Florida's nothing. I'm gonna get on the. I'm gonna be doing work most of the time anyway, right? So.
So the answer is no. Okay.
No, that's.
So
I
Well,
mean, Dan and
so-
I can continue to do work. You know.
so I'm just trying to
I
find
think-
when we're going to meet so then I can but here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to take a shot at rearranging that deck and adding some things and then show it to you. That way, so I just need a timeline of when that's going to happen so I can finish it up.
When's your
Because
birthday? What month is your birthday?
November.
You're a Scorpio?
No, I'm a
Sag.
Sagittarius.
Okay. I'm a Virgo. All
I
right.
don't know. Tell me about Virgos. I don't know much about
Oh,
them.
Virgo is like very, Virgos will run 100 miles if you tell them to run 100 miles, but if you add another foot, they'll shoot you. That's a
Okay.
Virgo. No, I mean, I've un-Virgoed I'm kind of, and then Virgos are of service, but the problem is that my moon is in Leo. So I'm like competing, like wanting to be on stage and wanting to be of service, wanting to be on stage and wanting to be of service. So that's me. In a
So you're
nutshell.
confused. You're just confused.
I'm confused, chameleon, whatever. I have to live
I
with
gotcha.
myself.
I'm
But
just
so I was
messing
gonna
with
say,
you.
like, I think while I'm in London, Dan, I think the most, because this is what you're amazing at, is just high level, what's the story?
Yeah, I think I can do a lot to this proposal. I just want a timeline so I can
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
done.
And then I'll plug in and put it in
Yep.
your,
Yep.
do my best to put it in there.
Mhm.
David, when do you want to meet?
Yep.
I mean, if you guys want to meet while I'm away to talk about the story, go
It
for it.
doesn't matter.
I
No,
don't need to
I'm
do
gonna
that.
take care of the story I got. So what I want to
Okay.
do is rearrange the deck, add the story, and then show you guys. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a date that and whatever else we have going for our action steps.
And do you think you could take like a Wednesday and find like a half hour or something like that while people are
I'm-
sleeping or napping?
Well, I'll be ahead of you.
Right.
So, I don't, here's the thing. I don't want to commit because there's a lot in the air. So, and I don't think it's going to be a half hour, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be a lot more. But what I will do is, commit to thinking about just sketching something out in terms of what's where. Let me see. I mean, if I can, I can. If not, definitely, I'm back on the 22nd, which is a Saturday. So if you want to do a Sunday, I can
Gotcha.
do that.
Well, David, what about your schedule? So she's out for a week, so we can I can start, I can send her the update the same day that you and I
But
meet. If we're gonna meet.
we should all be copied on whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, but
Mm.
obviously you're not available till the 22nd. So what I was gonna say is that David and I can meet on the day that he suggests. I can send you the copy, obviously, and then when we reconvene or you can give feedback or whatever, or you can say no, let's have an emergency meeting, and if not, then we can convene when you get back on the 23rd, 24th, or whatever.
But Dan, for you and I, it's business as usual next week.
Of course.
We've got a lot of balls in the air right now, and I'm not going on vacation. Like we're in a pivotal place right now where we can either go like this or like this or like this, right? And
Right. So I'm asking you when are you available? That's what I'm asking. That's
we're
so
flying out tomorrow. We leave at like 5 a.m.
Okay.
And then we're probably gonna be there like noonish. That's Saturday, probably not Saturday day, but from Sunday on, I'm available.
okay. So I'll just let you know. So I'm not going to be able to redo the slideshow in a day. So I'm looking for a Tuesday or a Wednesday opportunity. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, and you'll have something finished for like your revisions for like Tuesday? Yeah, so why don't we, okay, so we'll plan on Tuesday to review.
Well, why don't you just text me and when you get a bit, are you back on Tuesday or are you still on
No, no,
vacation?
no, we're there till like, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday of next week.
Oh
We're
my
gonna be there for like a week.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I will, and so just as we're not documenting this, but I want to, have this, done by Tuesday, Wednesday. So why don't you, David, tell me, when you get a feel of things, when you can meet on Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll do it.
Yep.
And we'll get also, I will forward you obviously that.
Yeah, and if
So-
I have the time to take a look at it on the wee hours or whatever, I
Right
will.
on.
But on a call,
Right.
I don't know. Like a call and scheduling
Yeah,
and two
I get it.
kids
I
and
totally get
family,
it.
I'm like, we're visiting schools, anyway, so,
Right,
Yes, I
but our
gotcha.
kids are on vacation next week. Like this is a school holiday
yeah.
starting today.
No, but I'm visiting schools with my kids is my, like, I'm
Right,
going to
fun.
see universities.
Yeah. Now, if I make a list of like the top 50 most successful Shark Tank presentations, would you guys watch it? No?
I wouldn't watch
Nope.
50, but I'd watch,
Nope.
my kids love it, so I'll watch like 3 to 5.
Yeah, you got your things, Dan. Like Dan's gonna do his shtick, right? You're gonna put on the Dan Lear show. And is that the idea?
Well, I'm not going to put on anybody else's show, of course.
Right.
I mean, that's what I do.
Right, right. So that's fine. I agree.
Right.
That's a great way to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
but don't
Okay.
forget what he said. He's like a lot less words, a lot more pictures.
But he
Amen.
wanted more storytelling, and I think that's
And more
that's Dan's
pictures.
strength.
More images.
All right. So David, you and I are going to meet on Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to copy you, Em. If we can
Yeah.
get together, we get together. If we're not able to, that's the way it goes. And then David and I, be a business as usual, and we'll see where we're at after.
Well, no,
I
I would
suppose.
say this. I would say let's make a meeting for week of 23. So we have that end in mind as well as a backup, like as a
Well,
next step.
Well, that's on you because that's your schedule. So you tell us.
Right,
when.
no. So you tell me after the 22nd, from the 23rd on, what would work for you. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. Well, I can do a meeting on the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, or the 28th.
Okay.
So you tell me what works for you.
Okay.
Wait, now, what do you
David,
guys say now? What do you want to do on those days?
We're talking about when Em gets back from London,
Yeah.
how we are going to schedule a meeting for when she gets back and go from there. So we're looking at the 24th or the 25th or the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. David, do you have any challenges on any of those days?
No,
Or-
no.
24 works for me, if that works for you.
Works
Then
for
we
me.
just get it going. How does that work?
Are you guys okay if I start scheduling more meetings like the one we just had with other kind of like friendly advisors?
Well,
When we're ready.
I think if we're gonna take this opportunity to rethink it, let's take the opportunity to rethink it a little bit.
We don't need to, we're not building from scratch, right? We're gonna
Can we,
incorporate
hey,
Dan.
David, I'm sorry. Can we just stay focused? Can we get the date that we're going to have the meeting? all right.
Yeah, as soon as possible. I'm always. as
So
soon as possible.
24th at 11 a.m.
At
Does that
what
work
time?
for you guys?
11 a.m. Does that work for you, David?
Sorry, 11 Eastern. I don't know how far back are you? 1 or 2?
I'm only 1 hour.
Okay.
Does that work for you, David?
The 24th, what time?
11?
Let me check, but I think. that's okay.
Anytime before 2 o'clock works for me.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay, because
All
then,
right. I got you down, Em. I got the meeting at the 24th
all right.
and
Do you have my email?
probably not.
All right, because if it ain't in my calendar, all right, I'll
Yeah. Why don't you send
It's-
it to me and I'll send you an invite.
I will. I will. I was
Thank you
gonna do
so
the same.
much.
I'll do it for you, actually. Okay, whatever you like. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Alright.
get you the other stuff we talked about, and let's keep moving
Alright.
forward. I really thought this was great. I'm so glad we did this, and we know what we know, and we know what we don't know. You know, so
It was
that's
very
right
helpful to
on.
hear. Very helpful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So in review,
Yeah.
David and I are gonna review this presentation that I'm going to quote unquote redo on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then what we have on paper is we're going to meet with M. You're coming to the table on the 11th, or excuse me, at 11 o'clock on the 24th, which is Monday.
10 a.m. your time, yeah?
Yes.
Dan, what is your email? Just so I have it and I'll send you the invite.
You can just use Dan at, no, what is it? It's DLIER at somebodytotalkto.com.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'll invite both of you. I'll put hold and then invite both of you to that.
Are you going to send out the invite?
But I
Awesome.
won't have
Okay,
the
cool.
Zoom. We'll figure that out later. I'm just going to block it on the calendar.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
safe
See y'all.
travels.
All right. Have a great day. Happy Valentine. Better you do something for your wife, David. What are you doing?
I
for her?
will. I'll run out and get some flowers right now.
What else?
Chocolates. I'll come up with something nice for her. Although it doesn't
Alright.
make sense to get flowers because we're leaving the house at 5 in the morning, so we're not gonna. They're just gonna go bad in the house. She's not even gonna see them. I'll treat her to
Your-
something nice tonight.
Your
Maybe
call. All right.
Okay.
Well, have a great day, David. Text me if you need me. I'm around.
Okay, sounds great. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Yep. Bye-bye. Hey, by the way, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's spend 2 minutes talking about this World Orphan Conference thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text Justin and just say, hey, we'll finalize everything next week, just so he's
Okay.
not thinking, just so he's not concerned over the weekend.
Yeah.
If we cannot get a sponsor, David.
Yeah.
If I pay 10 grand.
Yeah.
Can I get paid back?
Yes. Yes. I mean,
Okay.
yes. 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 Let me
'cause
contemplate. I just have to figure out like where the funds are going to come from. But I agree. Like I was thinking the same thing. I'm like,
we have to be there. We got to be there.
have to be there.
Have to
Right.
be there. So I would pull the money out of my, a stock account or something.
Yeah.
But it's, that's why I'm
Right.
so I don't need to get paid back right away, but I assume I can get paid back.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we split it or something,
Well, let's talk about it, because just think about it over the weekend, and I'm going to tell Justin that we got it nailed down and we're going to
Right.
come forward. We'll talk to you on Tuesday or whatever we talk to him,
Right.
just so
right.
he's not thinking about, did they get the
Right.
money? And all that
What
stuff.
about Craig? What about reaching out to Craig about this?
That's fine. We were talking about it a little bit, and then we were off. I think you were going to get me something and you didn't. So
I did, but I looked at what you sent NIST, and I think it's really strong. Like I'm a little surprised at what happened, but they're
Well,
not
it doesn't
smart.
matter. It happened.
What's
Yeah.
that?
So, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. We still have a good relationship with them. They just wasn't something they were going to do, So-
It's pivotal for us though. Like
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So if we can't get Spicer and we don't have somebody that's ready to jump on board,
right.
I mean, I can talk to Craig about it, but we need to be there. And I think you agree with that.
I mean, we
'Cause
got to
that'll-
bring down the
that'll-
house, right? Like we're
That'll
gonna bring
blast off everything. Yes. So
Yeah.
anyway, think about it over the weekend, David. I'm willing to, put out the money to be there, because I feel like it's mandatory for our company to grow
Yeah.
and be in front of those people.
Yeah.
And so I just want to talk to you about that. So
Yeah. Okay.
anyway,
Yeah. I
think about it. Think about it, and let's talk later about it. But all good. I think we're in the right direction. Let's kick some ass.
Okay. I'll talk to you later, Dan.
All right. Bye-bye.